Hey, it's Ian from the Postal Hub podcast.
And Marek from Last Mile Experts.
We are the last mile prophets, and we are turning our attention to DHL today because DHL recently announced it's going to do some pop-up stores, and what they've done is launched a mobile DHL service point in a shopping mall in Maryland, which is in the USA. It's got wireless computer systems, and it can do domestic and international parcels, packaging, and all those sorts of things. It's difficult for me to get excited about this, Mark, because posts do pop-ups. Canada Post does them. Australia Post does them. So they're temporary solutions in those cases, though, to deal with peak. Right? So you throw them up. You can give out parcels there, let's say, in a shopping mall car park, where people can drive their car up even, or things like that. But then, in January, it's gone. What did you think about all this?
My concern is I don't see the innovation. It's neither contactless. If you look at the pictures with the article, then you've got
They're
a
handing
guy
out parcels.
handing over a parcel.
Yeah.
So for me, actually, how is this different? If we're going to be really brutal, it looks very nice and it's all yellow and
It
DHL.
looks fantastic.
But at the end of the day, how is this different to a courier with a van standing in a fixed location waiting for customers, which is what a lot of parcel locker operators do if the locker's full?
I'm looking at that thinking, hey, you've got probably a full-time staff member there. How busy is that full-time staff member going to be, 9:30 in the morning or whenever the off-peak time might be? Whereas, you when you throw up a pop-up store, you know that they're going to be busiest when people are knocking off work to collect their parcels and things like that. Or maybe I've read it completely wrong here, Marek, but...
Well, I'd agree with you, and I'd get a lot more excited if there was a machine in there, a machine that doesn't require even being plugged into power. So it's like the new generation lockers, which are battery powered, no human, exactly as you said, no need for somebody, A, to sit there, perhaps sometimes aimlessly, B, totally contactless. That would get me a bit excited.
And you've got, I know I'm rabbiting on about this, but that's a full-time staff member, let's say. They're going to work from, 9 to 5? Or are they going to have shifts in there so you can cover it from 8 until 8 o'clock at night? Because this is what customers increasingly want. And we're seeing that demand now on the post office network. People saying, well, why aren't you open later and later? And, well, because of staff costs usually. But there's an example there. Are you really creating a solution to what customers really want?
I think, Ian, it's convenient if the pop-up access point is in a location that's convenient for the customer. That's great. But again, from my perspective, I really don't see the value added in having a person there. Person's going to need a break to go to the loo, to have a sandwich or something. So what happens? Do you have a second person covering? Or do you have, sorry, I'm out for a bite on the door? It's also financially inefficient, I would imagine, to have somebody sitting there. And in terms of COVID, it's also not optimal, well, unless the poor guy's going to wear this mask.
Well, and in the photo, the staff member has a mask, but certainly in post offices, we're seeing what I call splatter screens. I'm sure they've got a more technical term, but the perspex screens, you see them in a lot of supermarkets or in other retail stores. You mentioned earlier on about it's not got an electronic or basically a locker sort of solution allied with it. I mean, that if you start to marry those two together, so you've got a 24-hour access on one hand, and you've got I don't call it a premium product operating during the day when there's the staff member there. But if that staff member is able to handle all the queries, the difficult returns that don't fit in the box, I mean, maybe that's the kind of hybrid solution that would work.
That excites me a lot more. So if one could imagine that you have a pop-up, effectively a pop-up locker, which you can use either seasonally. So if there's a place that in summer you've got a lot of people coming to, but it's not visited at all in winter, and vice versa. I'm an avid skier, and sometimes I need to send something. It'd be great to have a pop-up locker somewhere on the slopes. Maybe that's over the top, but
well, Deutsche Post did trial something like that integrated with a drone, Matic. Do you remember that?
I reckon that the idea is great, but I don't see the innovation there, and I would expect a bit more from DHL.
Well, let's outline it here. What's a kind of innovative retail solution that they could do here? What are some of the things that you've seen with the people you've been speaking to that could could enhance this sort of environment to make it a really killer pop-up store, not a killer, but a really good solution for customers.
I think, Ian, we've got plans for something really exciting soon in terms of looking at some of the most innovative machines in this space, both machines for parcel and retail fresh delivery. So we can talk about that in a minute. But what I think they could have done here, as I said, is there could be a machine. It could create an environment in which the customer has a very safe, standardized, contactless service. That would be innovative, and I'd get excited at that. And I'm surprised, it's a bit like the car industry in Europe has been looking at combustion engines and how to make them more sexy and attractive for the last 10, 15 years. Instead of saying, look, it's going to go electric, let's look at what we need to do there. And for me, this is a me too. It's a combustion engine upgrade rather than saying, let's throw the combustion engine out the window. Let's look at electric.
There's, if I can throw in something here, there's a supermarket chain in the UK that had a integrated parcel collection service, and it's not the one that partnered with Doddle, it's a different company. But part of the plan was that you would get, when you entered the car park, it would basically advise the staff that you were arriving so they could prepare your parcel. So they could have integrated this sort of mobile technology with the pop-up store so that when the customer gets to the desk, or the window, whatever you want to call it, the parcel is immediately ready for collection. Or if they're going to be dropping off, the person there, the attendant, will know what's being dropped off. Or if they have some packaging needs, they'll have the packaging already. So these are sorts of things that I think will need to be happening just in regular retail, let alone in a pop-up store. Because that way we are prepared. You've got an idea of how to manage your business. I know I'm sounding like a post office person here, Marek. You're smiling at me here.
But no, I'm smiling because I'm thinking, to do that properly, what do you need?
Interactive delivery management.
Exactly.
just as a guess.
Which they're not, if I understand correctly, in the US, they're not so good at. So I think that it's tech, and tech. And this is a low-tech option. It's very nice and yellow and bright and so on. But I don't see the innovation here. And it's not just, by the way, to be fair to the guys at DHL, it's not just DHL. There's a lot of organizations creating things like that.
We've picked this out as an example because it's come up just recently.
But
if you're
bright, visible.
Look, with the yellow, it's hard to miss. If you've got any thoughts on this particular matter, comment below. Let us know what you think about this. Has DHL come up with a winner? Or is it, not so interesting? Just let us know what you think. Comment below. Marek, any final comments before we wrap up?
No, that's it. I think other than the fact that watch this space, because I think we're going to have something really interesting on automation at point of collection.
So yes, keep an eye on this channel for more information on that. Marek Ruzetsky from Last Mile Experts. Thanks for joining us on The Last Mile Profits today.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode of The Last Mile Profits.
Make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and also the notifications bell so that you get a notification every time we add a new video to this channel. Look forward to sharing more stuff with you on The Last Mile Profits.